A pleasant good evening and welcome to Antamarino Stadium on the campus of Gateway High School in Monroeville, Pennsylvania, as the Gateway Gators take on the Greensburg Central Catholic Centurions in today's WPIAL 2A boys lacrosse matchup. Gateway wears their whites while Greensburg Central Catholic wears their road black uniforms. Adam Gusky filling in for Vince Russo on the call for you this evening here in the eastern suburbs of Pittsburgh. Good to have you along with us this evening for some WPIAL 2A boys lacrosse. Taking the face-off for the Gators, Robert Johnson. And in the circle, fighting for that face-off for Greensburg Central Catholic is Peter Mazalecki. And face-off initially won by the Gators as they scooped the ground ball, but now Greensburg Central Catholic going to head right to left across your screen to begin this first quarter. Centurions working it outside of the offensive attack zone. Settling down as the Gators have 6 defenders set back. Down along the goal line. And a Centurion splits a double team and a goal for Patterson Ware for Greensburg Central. And that puts the Centurions on the board, leading the Gateway Gators 1-0. And again, heading to the face-off circle. Mazalecki for Greensburg Central. And Robert Johnson for the Gators. Battle for that face-off. Who's going to scoop the ground ball? Up high it goes. And the ground ball grabbed by the long stick for the Gators. So Gateway looking to go on the attack left to right, but the stick checked by the Centurions, and Greensburg Central Catholic scoops it up and looks to build on their 1-0 lead. Pass through the stick of a Centurion, and the ground ball is scooped up by Gateway. But Robert Johnson can't hang on to it, and back the other way go the Centurions. Shot on a sharp angle into the back of the net. Goal for Thomas Sides. So that goal for Sides puts the Centurions up 2-0. We've played less than 90 full seconds of lacrosse here at Pete Antamarino Stadium. Again, a battle for the face-off. And the ground ball is scooped by the Centurions as they head right to left. Riley with it, setting the attack. Back behind the net, he'll take it. Shot knocked down to the turf by the Gateway netminder. And the ball run down. Ground ball scooped up by Patterson Ware. Down to the goal line again. A bouncing shot this time carries wide for Kratzenberg. Centurions last back, so they'll keep the possession. Underhand shot scooped to the net and into the back of the net by Jacob Petnich. And that stretches the lead for Greensburg Central Catholic to 3-0. So again, it's Johnson taking on Mazalecki on the face-off. It's been all Centurions thus far as we played just over 2 minutes here in the first quarter. Ball bounced across the field, scooped up by Riley. Riley galloping through traffic. Now he'll retreat. Up front, centering pass, ball knocked down to the turf. Who's going to scoop the ground ball? Still a battle for it. Johnson can't grab it for the Gators, and it is pulled out by Gateway. Racing out of there with it for Gateway is Tristan Fike.
Tristan Fike on the attack.
Fike takes it away. Now the Gators looking to push it into the attack zone, but the clear fails for the Gators. And the Centurions will scoop the ground ball on the takeaway. Good force turnover by Greensburg Central. And then the ground ball, Petnich with it for the Centurions, setting the offense. Down along the goal line it goes for Greensburg Central. High on the right. Azawecki up top. Greensburg Central cycling it around the Gators' defense. Cutting to the net went Riley. He couldn't hang on to the pass, and as the ball goes to that far sideline, out of bounds it will go. Turnover for the Centurions. It'll be Gateway ball. Greensburg Central arguing. Stasko over there saying that he was not out of bounds yet, but the official does not concur, and Gateway will get the takeaway and push the ball into the offensive zone. For the first time today, they have it in a decent attack position, but they lose it just as quickly and go the other way to the Centurions. They'll clear it. As a flag comes in, a pass goes awry, so a delayed penalty now will go against the Gators. This gives Greensburg Central another opportunity to set up their offense. Fanning a long shot, the Centurions. Now another long one ripped off. That goes high by Petnich. And there's going to be a slash going against the Gators.
Centurions.
So Gateway going to be guilty of a penalty there. Robert Johnson with the slash. He's sent to the penalty box for a minute. Man-up opportunity for Greensburg Central. Ball off the pipe. Next one knocked down in the crease, and Gateway will scoop it up. Nice job by the Gateway netminder, Joseph Grill. Now Grill raced out of the crease as the ball bounces down along the end line. Greensburg Central last back. It'll stay with the Centurions. They're up by 3, 5 minutes played. Still man up are the Centurions. Shot ripped, save made. Sean Hickson with another stop for Gateway. Ball bouncing around. Who's going to scoop it? The Gators do. Ground ball there for Gateway. Trying to push the offense now, and they'll finally have a good opportunity here into the offensive zone. Cutting to the net. Pass goes awry, though, as it was intended for Joseph Grill. Out onto the high right. Velasquez up top. As the Gators are back to even strength, Johnson has the ball. He was the guilty party on the slash. Pass towards the goal line. Up too high. It'll go out of bounds, and a pass, not a shot, so it will be Centurion ball. One bounce as it finds the stick of Centurion on the far side. Centurions get the clear. They'll settle it down now. Ball out to Petnich as he retreats, allowing the Centurions to set their offense. Pulls it back out. Riley. Attack and then pulled back. Bouncing shot carries over the net. Stasko can't find the back of the net. And a long shot ripped off and into the back of the net for Jacob Petnich, and that stretches the lead for the Centurions to 4-0.
Number 9, Jake Petnich.
And Gateway's going to take a timeout here, as clearly the offense not working out well for Gateway defense. They've had some good chances to shut down the Centurions and have done so effectively thus far, but still Greensburg Central has been able to score 4 goals in less than 7 minutes. Taking a look at that last goal, a couple of trots to the right, and then the shot is ripped off for the Centurions. Goal for Jacob Petnich, as he now has multiple goals on the game for the visitors. WPIAL Lacrosse Championships going to be played on May 24th and 25th at Joe Walton Stadium at Robert Morris University. Taking a look at WPIAL 2A Lacrosse. Greensburg Central Catholic, as well as the Gateway Gators in 2A. They're in Section 1 with Bethel Park, Chartiers Valley, Franklin Regional, Greater Latrobe, Moon, Penn Trafford, Seton LaSalle, South Fayette, and Trinity. On the other side of Section 2, seems to be more northern-based teams: Freeport, Hampton, Indiana, Knock, Mars, North Catholic, Plum, nearby, but still north of Monroeville, Quaker Valley, Swickley Academy, Shaler, and Winchester Thurston, which is in the city. Just 2 classifications in boys lacrosse in the WPIAL. Single A and Triple A. As another battle for the face-off. Gateway sending a new face-off specialist out there in Velasquez. But Greensburg Central Catholic comes out with the ball yet again. Centurions cycling the ball. Pulled back out. Riley is up high. He'll bounce one past the netminder for the Gateway Gators, as Higson didn't judge the bounce that time. And that goal for Greensburg Central Catholic stretches their lead to 5-0. Brandon Riley with that goal for the Centurions. So we have an opportunity to take another look at this one. You can see Riley, again, taking steps to his right, saw a split in the defense and was able to rocket that one past the Gateway netminder in Sean Higson. Sun continuing to set right in our faces here at Pete Annamarino Stadium. Centurions setting the offense. Ball's up high, Riley. Back behind the net. Ware with it. Now out front. Ball down on the turf. And it'll stay with the Centurions as Stasko retreats with it. Over for Riley now. Behind the net, it's Ware. High right, another shot rocketed towards the net, this time by Petnich. Looked like it caromed off of the right post. And the ball run down along the near sideline by Greensburg Central. Bounced out onto the high right. Race for the ball to that far sideline, and a turnover for Greensburg Central. It's Gators ball. Centurions scoop the ground ball, though. A takeaway by Greensburg Central leads to a shortened field for the Centurions to work with, as they have certainly had a tilted field to the left-hand side through the first quarter thus far. 3 minutes to go here in this third frame, as the shot is rocketed by Ware. And that'll carry across the end line and stay with Greensburg Central, as the Centurions were last back. Underhanded shot rocketed over the right shoulder, and the goal for Jacob Petnuch finds its way into the back of the net behind Sean Hickson. And Greensburg Central has stretched their lead to 6-0, and we still have 2:44 to play here in quarter number 1. Another look at that one, you can really see how Petnuch saw that opening between the defenders, and it was just he and Hickson to try to get that one. Wind picking up here in Monroeville as the ball scooped up by the Gators. Then a slash is going to be called against Gateway. No, it's going to be against Greensburg Central, excuse me. The Gators were setting up their offense, and the Centurions are going to be whistled up for a penalty. Lukacs, the senior, saddled with the penalty. The Gators are now a man up as they set up the offense. With 6 players in the attack zone, but it's knocked away. Greensburg Central, man down, headed the other way. They get the clear. One pass, a shot ripped off. The Gators looked like they were last back, where the Centurions able to race to that end line. A one-and-done offensive opportunity for Greensburg Central after getting the takeaway and having the man-down shot. And here come the Gators. Still a man up. Racing forward, Gateway goes. Ball knocked loose, though, as Johnson took it into the offensive attack zone. It was knocked down to the turf, and Greensburg Central gets the takeaway and takes it the other way. Trying to kill this penalty. They've had one man down opportunity thus far on this penalty. Will it be another? Ball loose, shot ripped off. Save is made, though. Good job by Sean Hickson to get that stop. As Greensburg Central's Jacob Kratzenberg had an opportunity one-on-one with the netminder. We're back to even strength. The Gators on the attack. About 6-on-3 right now as the Gators try to split defenders, but not able to. And now racing the other way are the Centurions. Jacob Petnuch. Now it's Ware with it.
Timeout. Greensburg Central.
And Greensburg Central Catholic going to take a timeout here with just under a minute to play. They have possession, so they want to set things up heading into the latter stages of this quarter. Here on a beautiful day at Pete Annamarino Stadium, 72 degrees, clearly sunny skies. Sunset scheduled for about 18 minutes from now, but that seems to be a little bit premature considering where the sun is in the sky. Low humidity here on this spring day, and you can certainly see the wind sustained at about 17.4 miles per hour. It has been a remarkable spring thus far weather-wise. We've had plenty of winds, a few storms, but in general, this has been the sunniest spring in a long, long time. Make sure you check out GatewayGatorProductions.com, as we will have an archive of this broadcast, and you can see archives of our entire broadcast schedule. Looking in the rearview mirror from football season all the way to today. And, of course, in the future, we're going to have boys volleyball coming up next week. And we'll have at least one more lacrosse match as the season goes on here from Pete Annamarino Stadium. So Greensburg Central gets their offensive strategy down. Now the Gators finish up talking their defensive strategy. Greensburg Central to set the offense near the far sideline around the 30-yard line. 20 yards away from the net line. Centurions work it, sharp angled shot, save is made. Good opportunity there for the Centurions, but again the save for the Gators. Sean Higson. Gateway has the ball as they were last back. And the Gator is pushed out of bounds down along that end line, so Greensburg Central, with 30 seconds to go, has a quick opportunity here, racing out in front. Shot put on, but again, save is made by Sean Higson. Well, Higson certainly has been peppered today, and he's been up to the challenge for the most part, though he has allowed 6 goals thus far as this one. A centering pass knocked down to the turf by Higson. Less than 10 seconds to go in the quarter. And Greensburg Central going to try to get one more shot off, and it will get into the net with about 2 seconds to go in the quarter. A long shot bouncing its way into the net by Braden Riley. And that goal by Riley stretches the lead for the Centurions to 7-0. There's a flag down as well as the teams are going to head to the benches.
That's the end of the first quarter here at Gateway.
So Gateway will start quarter number 2 man down, which means that Greensburg Central will start the second quarter with a free clear with the ball and a 7-0 lead. We're going to take a pause. When we return, it'll be second quarter action. You're tuned in to the Gators and the Centurions here on GatewayGatorProductions.com. Talks about what we have coming up for the Gateway Gators here on GatewayGatorProductions.com. We'll have boys volleyball next week against the Mars Planets on Tuesday night. The following Tuesday, we'll have boys volleyball against the McKeesport Tigers before we return to Pete Annamarino Stadium. It'll be senior night as the boys lacrosse team takes on the Trinity Hillers, and then things will wrap up with boys volleyball against Latrobe on May 9th. That's our schedule for the rest of the spring here on GatewayGatorProductions.com. And then once the calendar hits the end of the month, we'll be covering the Gateway graduation ceremony here on this turf on May 31st. Ball cycled high left side. Centurions with the ball. They are currently a man up as a shot goes wide. Centurions last back. It'll stay with Greensburg Central. Penalty on the Gators just before the quarter break. Tristan Fike, the guilty party. So the Centurions on the attack and a bouncing shot into the net for Braden Riley, And with 11:11 to play in the half, a man-up goal for the Centurions. And they lead the Gators 8-0 here in quarter two rather. Robert Johnson to take the draw for the Gators. Up against Peter Mazowiecki. Still a battle for it. Still no control. And finally, ground ball scooped by the Gators, and Gateway goes on the attack. Johnson with it for Gateway. Johnson far side. Now back behind the net for White. White scooping it up. Near side Velasquez. Cycled up top Johnson. Right side Williams. Now it's Grill for the Gators. Back behind again for White. White lost it to the turf for a moment, but was able to scoop the ball before the Centurions took it away. And a pass intended for this near side, and a great stick check by the Centurions, forcing the Gateway turnover. Credit that stick check and the forced turnover by Michael Lukacs for the Centurions. Playing strong with that long stick, the long stick defender in that circumstance. Now the Centurions with the clear, take it the other way. Pass going awry, intended for Detweiler. The ball run down by Greensburg Central. Now the officials say the ball went out of bounds. It was a pass, not a shot, so it will be Gators ball as Gateway looks to set things going the other way. Higson triggering the clear attempt, but that clear attempt will fail, and it's going to be Greensburg Central ball far sideline, well into the offensive zone. Mazuecki, pass across the crease, shot off the side of the net. Sean Higson scooped the ground ball for the Gators, and they quickly take it the other way, turning defense into offense, and a bouncing shot carries wide by Jacob Williams. Gators last back, so they will keep the possession. Now it's Velasquez with it. Back for Johnson. Caroms off of his stick. Turnover for the Gators. And Gateway pushing things the other way, or rather Centurions pushing the things the other way against the Gators. Through traffic, shot ripped off. Save made by Sean Higson again. As Petnuch put the challenge on to Higgins that time. Long pass gathered in by Steele for the Gators. Steele trying to avoid the long stick. Ball knocked down. Still loose. Will it be a Gators turnover, or will Gateway maintain the possession? Still a battle for it. Who's going to scoop the ground ball? Still loose. And a battle for it. Very physical with this loose ball. And up front it finally will go, and the Centurions gather it in. And they're going to look to turn some defense into offense. And a foul goes against the Centurions, and it's going to be Gators ball, as it'll come near sideline for Gateway. And starting things off for the Gators is Steele. Now Velasquez. Johnson inside to the right-hand side. We're trying to find Grill, and Grill runs it down before it crosses the sideline. So the Gators maintain the possession. Back behind looking for White, and the ball across the end line, and it's going to be Centurion ball on the Gateway turnover. So an unforced turnover by the Gators, and the Centurions have the possession. 7.5 minutes on a rolling clock here in quarter number 2. 55-yard pass all the way to midfield. All the way to the net go the Centurions. Good defense locked down there by Gateway, but a flag comes in simultaneously as Devin Smith initially shut down that Centurion attack. Greensburg Central maintains the possession. Shot rocketed from out high left side, and that goal for Jacob Petnuch. And to add insult to injury for the Gators, they're going to go man down after this one, as that ball was loose.
Man up, Greensburg Central.
And then that ball went out high to Petnuch, and he put out that long shot. And the Gators man down here. So Greensburg Central with an opportunity to build on this 9-0 lead. Battle for the faceoff. Ground ball scooped by the Gators, so they have it man down. As they look to push it the other way, the Centurions took it away and turned defense into offense very quickly on a long pass. High right it comes. Mazwecki. And a shot and a goal for the Centurions and a man-up goal for Greensburg Central. And the Centurions get the goal by Evan Stasko, Jr., the attackman for Greensburg Central. And we're back to even strength as that man-up goal for the Centurions stretches their lead to 10-0 with 6:37 to play here in quarter number 2. Gateway has had their offensive struggles thus far. The last time we had a game here on GatewayGatorProductions.com, the Gators scored the second goal of the game, tying the game at 1-1, but after that it was all the visitors winning that one convincingly over the Gateway Gators. Ended up being a 13-goal loss against Chartiers Valley. Last time we saw the Gators out here on this field. As Gateway tried to take it out of the defensive end, Centurions knocked the Gator down to the turf and a battle for the loose ball. Still a battle for that ground ball. Gators finally get a couple extra bodies in there trying to dig for this ground ball, and they will come out of there with it. Here come the Gators on the attack. Long shot ripped off as the save is made by the Centurions, Max Rebick. 5.5 minutes to play, second quarter. Centurions with the ball. They rocket it all the way out towards midfield and turn it over. And it'll be Gators ball. Setting the offense for the Gators, Jacob Williams. Pushing it quickly forward to Velasquez. Back Fike. Near side it comes for the Gators for Steele. To Velasquez again. Johnson up high. Johnson wiggling through defenders. Shot bounced in. And the first goal of the game for the Gators comes with 4:48 to play in quarter number 2. As Robert Johnson was able to find his way through 2 defenders to score that one for Gateway. And the Gators finally get their first goal of the game more than halfway through quarter number 2. Johnson trying to dig out the face-off. And the Gators do win the face-off as the ground ball was scooped up by Valentine. Centurions able to take it away, forcing the turnover. Sides has it. Centurion shot put on the net, and Sean Hickson with the stop. As a hard shot put towards the net by the Centurions, and as the Gators try to clear it the other way, the ball was knocked loose by the Centurions, and Gateway loses it across this near sideline. Will it stay with Gateway? Yes, the officials say last touched by the Centurions, so it stays with the Gators. Down by 9 here in quarter 2. Got about 4 minutes to play here in the second frame. Stasko pushing it back out for Kratzenberg. Towards the goal. Shot carries high by Riley. Centurions last back. They'll keep the possession. 3:35 to play here in quarter two. Centurions to build on this 9-goal lead. On the goal line, low shot, bouncing its way past Higgins, and the goal for the Centurions by Evan Stasko. And that stretches the lead for the Centurions to 11-1. As we take another look at this one, you can see beautiful shot there for Evan Stasko, the junior, on the attack for the Centurions. Petnich should take this face-off for the Centurions, taking on Johnson for the Gators. And an infraction on the face-off, false start against the Centurions, and it'll give Gateway the ball. Free draw win, free face-off win rather, for the Gators. And then Johnson gets knocked down to the deck, a wall built by the Centurions defenders, and Greensburg Central takes it quickly left to right in their road black uniforms, Gateway in the home whites. Ball bounces all the way to the near sideline, and a turnover for the Centurions gives the ball back to the Gators with 3:05 to play here in the second quarter. Gateway's long stick defender having a tough time getting away from Centurion attackman trying to get that ball away from him, and then the ball ends up with Velasquez pushed forward. Pass goes high, intended for Steele. Battle for the ground ball, and the Centurions come out with it. Greensburg Central with the scoop. It's Petnich. He'll trot his way to the goal line, surveying the scene. Out high, stepping away from a defender, a bouncing shot carries wide by Plunko. Now the ball finds its way over to Petnich again. Battle for the loose ball, and Higgins grabs it for the Gators. As the Gators try to push it the other way after the stop by Higgins, the Centurions took it right back again with 2 minutes to play here in the second quarter, up by 10. Underhanded shot, caroms off of the pipe. Now it's straight away. Centurions with it, it's Petnich again. Pass on the right-hand side. Pressure applied to Plunko, and as Plunko gets roughed up, the Gators going to be guilty of a penalty.
Greensburg Central.
Push with possession going to go against the Gators here. That'll be the second penalty against Devin Smith, the senior midfielder. Here comes Greensburg Central setting things up offensively. Ball push near side right. Now up high for the Centurions. Down towards the goal line, shot feigned, then pulled back out. On the right side it goes. Pass intended for Plunko through the crease, carries all the way to that far sideline, and a turnover for the Centurions. Clearly not a shot there. So it'll be Gators ball, man down with 1:03 to play, down by 10 here in the second quarter. Gators rifle it forward. This one bouncing across the midfield line and scooped up by Gateway. They're looking for a man down chance here. Devin Steele has it for the Gators. Steele, one bounce through traffic, and as the Centurions take it away, Greensburg Central is going to go
Gators.
Another man up here. The official's now going to say it's a foul, a foul against the Centurions. Thought it was against Greensburg Central. Centurions sending a player to the sideline. Now the Gators are a man up with just under a minute to play. 48.7 seconds to be exact. 48 on your screen at home. Gators with the ball, down to the goal line. Through the stick of Princeton White, and the Centurions take it away. Not the best offensive chance for the Gators, but the Gators get it right back as the Centurions turn it over as they were trying to race out defensively. Back out it'll go for Williams. Williams up high. Time waning here in the quarter. Pass far sideline. Fike can't get it before it crosses the boundary, and it will be Centurions' ball. Greensburg Central man down with just under 16 seconds to go. Rifled forward. Across midfield, the Centurions looking for a quick attack as the quarter starts to wind down. Pushed forward yet again. Crossing pass. A chance there for Stasko. Instead, he tried to feed it off for Plunko, and instead it'll carry its way to the far sideline. And we will head to halftime with the score Greensburg Central 11. The Gateway Gators 1. We thank you for joining us here in Monroeville, PA on GatewayGatorProductions.com. We're going to take a pause for halftime. When we return, it'll be third quarter action between the Gateway Gators and the Greensburg Central Centurions here in 2A Section 1 Boys Lacrosse. Set to begin half number 2 here at Gateway High School between the Greensburg Central Centurions and the Gateway Gators. WPIAL 2A lacrosse action. Adam Gusky filling in for Vince Russo as we get half number 2 underway here at Pete Annamarino Stadium. Centurions with the ball to begin half 2, playing man down. In the penalty box is a Centurion, but they have the ball to control things here in half 2. Back to even strength as the Centurions win the face-off and just kill clock to begin quarter 3. They have the ball. Trotting towards the net, jumping shot into the cage for Evan Stasko, and that stretches the Centurions' lead to 12-1 with 11:21 to play here. Taking another look at this one, you can see Stasko was able to get past the defender and was in front of 2 others to score that goal for the Centurions. The lead for Greensburg Central, 12-1 with 11:21 to play here in quarter number 3. A week from tonight, Gateway Boys Lacrosse here on GatewayGatorProductions.com. We have back-to-back weeks of boys volleyball before we return to Pete Annamarino Stadium for some boys lacrosse action. False start by the Centurions on that face-off as we see the Gators taking on the Planets next week. The following week, the McKeesport Tigers. And we see the Gators take on the Trinity Hillers to wrap up our lacrosse coverage for the spring. And then we will wrap up boys volleyball coverage on May 9th. Spencer Whitt will be on the call for you for those volleyball matches, while Vince Russo is scheduled to return to these airwaves for our final boys lacrosse game in early May. Ball picked up by the Centurions, and they'll go the other way with it. Lukacs pushing it forward for the Centurions. Pulled back out by Riley. Riley settles things down for the Centurions. Back again for Riley. Near side it'll come for Kratzenberg. It's Riley again. Scoop shot. Petnich carries long. Centurions last back. It'll stay with Greensburg Central. Clock stopped with just over 10 minutes to go, third quarter. An 11-goal lead for Greensburg Central Catholic. Loose ball, and they take away by the Gators. As that ground ball was scooped by Gateway's Thomas Sides. Push forward for Gateway, and Steele tries to run down the loose ball. Still a battle for the loose ball as a pass went awry back near midfield. And we still see Gators and Centurions trying to scoop this loose ball. Who will get the ground ball? It looked like the Gators for a moment. Now Gateway will scoop it. It's Jacob Williams. Williams wiggling through traffic. Long shot carries wide. Gators last back. Princeton White will trigger the offense for the Gators. Clock winding again as we take another look at this shot. Just wide to the left-hand side of that cage, and the Gators turn it over just as quickly as they had a second opportunity as the ball came near side, intended for Joseph Grill. And the Centurions going to get things started offensively. Back to the net it'll go. Max Rebick getting things started, the sophomore goaltender. Centurions push it forward. Kratzenberg races it up. Far side with it, Stasko. Back for Kratzenberg. Kratzenberg, Stasko. Stasko out front. Centering pass goes awry, intended for Ware, and it'll roll all the way to the near sideline as Centurions turnover. Gateway looking to take advantage of this turnover by the Centurions. Contillo going to get things started for the Gators, but it's taken right away by the Centurions. And out front quickly it goes as the takeaway by Ware and then the goal by Evan Stasko. And the score is now 13-1 Greensburg Central. .8:35 to play here in quarter number 3. Gators down a dozen in the third quarter. Battle for a loose ball. Infraction by the Gators. Centurions with it. Greensburg Central setting up the offense. Near side it comes. Far right side. Centurions setting the offense. It's Riley. Fed off onto the goal line. Kratzenberg tries to bounce one towards the net. Knocked aside by the Gateway netminder, Sean Higson. Through traffic. Bouncing shot into the net as that shot into the net for Greensburg Central's Braden Riley. With the lead at 13 now, officials saying the clock needs to wind. We are now into a winding clock. And regardless of how many goals Gateway scores to try to cut into this lead for the Centurions, which currently stands at 13, it will stay winding through this third and then into the fourth quarter. Battle for the face-off. Who's going to scoop the ground ball? Gateway trying to dig it out. Still a battle for it. Velasquez trying to get back towards the ball for the Gators, but instead a long stick will grab it for Greensburg Central. And they'll go quickly right to left. Through traffic, shot put on the net, and a goal for Jacob Petnich. And Petnich, another goal for the Centurions. And now the lead is 15-1. Greensburg Central on top of Gateway. As the clock will continue to wind here in the third quarter. Mars Planets, defending 2A champs in the WPIAL. They've won 6 consecutive WPIAL 6A boys championships. They also became the first WPIAL team last year to win a PIAA lacrosse championship as they defeated Marple Newton 9-6 in the state championship game. Pass near side and a scoop shot into the net. Stick to net. As again, Petnich scores for the Centurions, stretching their lead to 16-1 as the clock continues to cycle here in the third quarter. I thank our crew this evening, our director Lee Schaefer III, our engineer and camera operator Lee Schaefer Jr., camera operator Allison Gusky. Of course, I'm Adam Gusky on the call, filling in for Vince Russo. We'll be back on the call when we return to Pete Annamarino Stadium in early May. Though we will have a couple of lacrosse, or rather boys volleyball games between then and now. Pass on the side. Gators looking to set up some offense here. But the Centurions take it right back the other way. And they're going to turn some defense into offense. Stasko leaving it back. Bouncing shot into the net for Braden Riley. Stretches the Centurion lead to 17-1. As Greensburg Central continues to pepper Sean Hickson, the Gateway goalie. Talked about the left side of 2A boys lacrosse, the Section 1, Bethel Park, Char Valley, Franklin Regional, Gateway, Greater Latrobe, Greensburg Central, Moon, Penn Trafford, Seton LaSalle, South Fayette, and Trinity, so teams that are all south and east. While Section 2 is teams north and in the city. This pass comes near side, shot carrying wide. Section 2 is Freeport, Hampton, Indiana, Knock, Mars, the 6-time champions, North Catholic, Plum, Quaker Valley, Sewickley Academy, Shaler, and Winchester Thurston. Good defense there by the Gators as they force the turnover. Going quickly, left to right with it for the Gators is Williams. Ball finds its way into the crease, and the ground ball is scooped up by Rebick.
Nice save by Herbert. Drill on the shot.
And the ball goes far side. And it will be Gators ball on the turnover by the Centurions, triggering the offense. Dallas Steele for the Gators. Steele outside Williams. Williams. Far side, it's Steele. Near side it comes White. Pass intercepted though by the Centurions. They'll go the other way quickly. Ball knocked down to the turf. Good job by the Gator defender. Battle for it. Ball scooped by Ware for the Centurions. Greensburg Central maintains possession. It's Riley. Shot down low. And Sean Higgins with the save for the Gators. The Gators pushing the ball quickly into the offensive end. Gateway on that offensive side looking to do something with it. Right now down by 16. Grill with it. Grill pulling it back. Along the goal line. Back behind, he feeds it. Velasquez cycles it far side. Steal. Now Smith. Feeding it off for White. Grill with it again. Behind the cage, Velasquez. Gateway working the ball around. Onto the goal line again as the pass bouncing across the end line. Gateway pressuring the Centurion netminder in Rebick. He nearly knocked that one loose. And they say that Rebick steps outside and then back into the crease with possession of the ball. Turnover for Greensburg Central. Far side on the goal line. It's Steele. 10 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Now it's Fike. And as the Gators look to take it down to the goal line, the Centurions take it away, turning it the other way quickly, and the quarter will expire, and we will head to quarter number 4 with the score Greensburg Central Catholic 17, the Gateway Gators 1. You are tuned in to Gateway Gator Boys Lacrosse here on GatewayGatorProductions.com. Set to begin the fourth quarter here at Pete Annamarino Stadium on the campus of Gateway High School in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. Adam Gusky on the call for you this evening on GatewayGatorProductions.com. Velasquez facing off against a Centurion in the center circle. Greensburg Central on top of Gateway 17-1. As Charles Blanchard trying to dig that one out for the Centurions. Ball kicked by the Gators. Racing back, Blanchard scoops it up for the Centurions for a moment, but it's still loose. Blanchard using his strength. And still a scrum for the ground ball. Who will ultimately gather in possession? It will be the Centurions. A shot is bounced towards the netminder for the Gateway Gators, and the save is made yet again by Sean Higson, who continues to shine in the net. And I know that sounds strange when the score is 17-1, but he has certainly made his fair share of saves in the process of allowing these 17 goals. He has certainly been peppered by a lot of offensive opportunities by the Centurions here this evening. Greensburg Central wiggling their way towards the net, shot put on, and another goal for the Centurions. This time it's Patterson Ware, the senior attackman for the Centurions, scoring that one, stretching their lead to 18-1 as the clock continues to wind here in quarter number 4. Centurions with the ball. After winning the faceoff, they will go offensively. Shot ripped off, carries wide. So it'll be Gators ball. Clock should be running. Now the officials will ask for the clock to stop, asking for the clock to continue to run. And a shot and a goal for Greensburg Central after the clock situation is righted. The Centurions go offensively. And another goal is scored as we take another look at this one. One step, and Brandon Plunko, the freshman, adds to the tally for Greensburg Central, now on top 19-1 with 9:30 on a winding clock in quarter four. Riley looking to take this face-off against Velasquez for the Gators. Face-off infraction by Braden Riley. It'll be Gators ball. Gateway on the offense now. Ball knocked loose. Can that long stick for the Centurions come out of there with it? He will do so. Whistles blow, and it will stay with the Gators. As triggering this offense will be Joseph Grill for Gateway. Grill back behind for White. Out on the high right side it will go. Sharp angle shot. Good defensive stand there for Greensburg Central. As that ball right into the midsection of Matthew Mazowiecki, the freshman. And a flag will come in. And we will see Greensburg Central go man down, I do believe. And another flag comes in. So the Gators are going to have two guys in the penalty box here. Those things are going to be ironed out by our officials. Jacob Williams with a penalty. And then a penalty against Dallas Steele. 1 minute. And then we see Jacob Williams ejected for unsportsmanlike conduct. So we're going to have two Gators in the penalty box now. And like I said, Williams has been ejected for the unsportsmanlike. We're going to have Dallas Steele in the penalty box. And we're going to have Alexander Velasquez serve the penalty. So it looked like there was going to be at least one Greensburg Central player involved here. And the officials talking with Gateway coaches here, trying to iron out the situation. Like I said, Alexander Velasquez will be serving the penalty. Jacob Williams has been ejected. He can serve the penalty after the coaches talk things over here. So he's going to serve his personal. He cannot return to the game. Now the coaches are talking yet again. As this situation continues to be ironed out. It's going to be Greensburg Central ball, as it took a good 2 minutes or so, maybe even longer, for that one to be ironed out. And they will, after some more discussion, say Connor Smith will serve the penalty for Gateway. Jacob Williams will not be allowed to serve the penalty, will not be allowed to be an active member of the Gators bench. Dallas Steele, the other Gator in the penalty box, is right now the Gators are 2 men down against the Centurions. Centurions cycling the ball, sharp angle shot, nice save made by Higson as that shot was put on the net from that right-hand side by the Centurions. We now have just over 5 minutes to play in quarter four. Who's going to run it down? The Centurions will do so, as Gateway's Dominic Cantillo couldn't get to it for Gateway. Greensburg Central trying to pressure the issue. Long stick shot bounces wide as Matthew Azawicki couldn't get that one to the net, but it will stay with Greensburg Central. And now sliding through defenders and a goal for Greensburg Central's Patterson Ware, the senior, stretches the Greensburg Central lead to 20-1. Take another look at that one. He was able to get the step back that past the Gateway defender in Thomas Sides and then buried it in the back of the net to stretch the lead, like I said, to 19. Clock continues to wind. Just over 4 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Wind starting to gust a bit. We've had some pretty significant sustained winds throughout the evening as the sun continues to set over Pittsburgh to our west. We are in the eastern suburbs of Pittsburgh. Thank you for joining us here on GatewayGatorProductions.com. Temperature still in the low 70s. Winds have died down towards about 12 miles an hour sustained, but that has caused more significant gusts as the evening has gone along. You can see sun still up in the sky there. The Gators with the ball. They turn it right back over to the Centurions as they look to set the offense. The ball knocked away by a good stick check by Velasquez. And can the Gators scoop the ground ball? Steele has it knocked away, and then Velasquez gets knocked down to the turf. And the Centurions going to be guilty of a penalty. And it's going to be Michael Lukacs with the unnecessary roughness. Going to have a 2-minute non-releasable penalty. If you're new to lacrosse, there are releasable penalties. What releasable means that if Gateway would score a goal, he could return to the game. But a non-releasable penalty means that even if Gateway scores multiple goals during this man-up situation, he stays in the penalty box, does Michael Lukacs. Velasquez, far side he'll go. Fike. Now on the goal line, Grill. Grill back behind the cage for the Gators. Works his way out to the high right side. Quick step towards the goal line. Good recovery by the Centurion defender. Less than 2 minutes to play. Grill still has it. Long shot well over the net. Gateway last back. It's Princeton White who will trigger the offense for Gateway. White pass high for Steele, but Steele able to gather it in. Steele trying to bounce one towards the cage. Princeton White trying to get that bouncing ball. Battle for it. Can the Centurions get the ground ball and the turnover? Instead, it'll stay with Gateway. It's Fike. Fike had it, then had his stick checked and lost it. Fike. High pass. Going to carry over the head of teammate Grill all the way out to midfield, but it'll stay with the Gators as Grill's able to run it down. Shot off the pipe. Battle for it. Less than a minute to go. Ball out to midfield, Centurions with it. Ball bouncing. Can Smith get there for the Gators and get the takeaway? He will do so. Push forward by Gateway. Now Grill. Grill into the offensive zone. Pushed out high, pass through the stick of Steele. Centurions get the takeaway. Less than 15 seconds to go now. Up the field comes Greensburg Central. Big contact, 15 yards away from the goal line. Ball knocked loose from a Centurion as time will expire. And the Greensburg Central Centurions make the short trip to Monroeville, Pennsylvania, and defeat the Gateway Gators by a final score of 20-1. Don't forget, tune in next week as the Gateway Gators boys volleyball team will take on the Mars Planet. Spencer Witt will be on the call for you that one over at the Gateway High School gym. I want to thank our crew for this evening, our director, Lee Schaefer III, our engineer and camera operator, Lee Schaefer Jr., our camera operator, Allison Gusky, and for our entire crew, I'm Adam Gusky, thanking you for joining us. One more time, your final score tonight, Greensburg Central 20, your Gateway Gators 1, and you've seen it all on GatewayGatorProductions.com.